Thank you, Chair. Last January, a bluefin tuna caught off the coast of northeastern Japan has reached a record hike in the first auction of the fish market in Tsukiji, in Tokyo, reaching €570,000. The price of this 269 kilos tuna beats the previous record of last year to €328,000. This is simply crazy. And this is what explains how important this business is. Tomorrow, the European Parliament will vote on EU legislation introducing new internationally agreed rules for the bluefin tuna fishery in European waters. With the bluefin fishery having just opened for the 2012 last week, the rules clearly need to be swiftly implemented. In addition to quotas, these rules set out the conditions, practice and equipment for the fishing and farming of these iconic and endangered fish species. Unfortunately, the rules fall far short of what international scientific advice deems is necessary to give this unique, beautiful and highly priced fish species a decent chance of recovering from its current critically low stock levels. The sorry state of bluefin tuna in the Atlantic and Mediterranean is well known. Atlantic bluefin tuna stocks have declined by up to ¾ over the past 40 years, and given the long reproductive cycle of fish, the prospects for recovery are not good. Documented and legal overfishing of bluefin has been greatly exacerbated by illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing of these high-value fish. High-profile cases of this included last year's illegal fishing in Libyan waters during the war. The heavy involvement of organised crime in the fishing and farming of bluefin in the Mediterranean is also a major cause of concern. Furthermore, given the scale of illegal and unreported fishing, it is impossible to get an accurate picture of how many fish are being caught. However, different estimates suggest the amounts being caught are multiples of the In that sense, this new legislation, although necessary, represents a missed opportunity for the EU to take a meaningful step to prevent the demise of bluefin. Instead, Europe is continuing to hide behind the fig leaf offered by ICCAT, or rather its contractual parties. Many of us believe that ultimately only a complete ban on commercial fishing would give this a fighting chance of recovery. Failing that, ICCAT should be agreeing to completely close certain areas for bluefin fishing, particularly during the spawning season, rather than simply adopting half-hearted quotas that are not in line with scientific advice. I tried this with the previous amendments to my report, but unfortunately the majority of my colleagues did not follow this. Bad luck. Still, I believe that the EU, as the main fisher of this stock, must accept a large chunk of responsibility for driving bluefin to the brink. Tougher controls of the fleet and the related industry are also necessary to prevent illegal fishing and overfishing. The EU must mobilise more resources to this end and assist other ICCAT members that lack the resources for proper enforcement. This is particularly true in the Mediterranean. The EU legislation set to be adopted tomorrow represents the bare minimum and is simply a minimalist implementation of the international ICCAT recovery plan. While there are some slight improvements, with a reduction of the amount of bluefin tuna to be caught and tightening of controls, it still falls far below what scientists believe is necessary to give the bluefin stock a fighting chance of recovery. But I insist, once again, there is nothing stopping the EU from adopting more ambitious measures. That's what I expected to have in the report, and that's the least what we can do in the future, especially when we will meet with the ICCAT other contractual parties in November. Thank you so much.